So just to kind of kick us off, I feel like the best way to go is, what have the last few months been like for you when you put them into context of the first 9 years that you spent running this organization and being really embedded in the pro game?
Excited. I mean, it's really probably, I'd say, back since last November, Evan, which was, it got to the point where getting frustrated with a single entity owner league was tough because I think that it needed to start that way. And I think that we probably outgrew that single entity league, meaning one guy controls all decisions. And that was really a breaking point last November when the commissioner decided to resign, and we went down that search for that new commissioner. So that day, that Friday afternoon, was really probably the most exciting time I had since owning that team. Not because it was ill will towards what was happening, but it was just being a business owner and growing my own businesses. At some point in time, you outgrow people. And we simply just outgrew the leadership at the time. So making that first big decision and having a guy like Jim Davis who's willing to trust other people, who's put up by far the most money of anybody else in pro lacrosse, has been an outstanding job. And without him, I'm not sure the game exists. Remember the downturn of I think it was 09. 08, yeah, right. I mean,
when we had the West Coast League, basically.
If it wasn't for Jim, pro lacrosse wouldn't exist,
exactly.
right? And people don't want to talk about that, and they kind of and I've had this conversation with Jim and some other strong some other billionaires out there that I can tell you. Just leave it at that. Some other billionaires out there in the last couple of weeks, about all this, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things the sport hasn't had a problem is money. What it's had a problem with is really a plan on how to get it over the hump. Jim clearly sees and has clearly stated that he understands that controlling the league is not good in the best interest of the game.
Okay.
It's not.
I think that's important.
It's not in the best interest of the game. I don't think he's ever felt that.
Yeah, it's been out of necessity.
I think it's been, who else wants to spend $40 million with me? It
Yeah.
wasn't me.
Yeah.
So as much as I'm passionate,
Yeah.
want to do this and great franchise and we win, am I Jim Davis? I am not Jim Davis,
Yeah.
right? So I give him a lot of credit, but I think I've also seen very clearly how a single controlled entity doesn't work for this, right? Not in a team sport. When that day happened, we went down the search, found Sandy, interviewed a lot of good people. That was really the exciting time for me. After seeing Sandy now in the seat, fast forward 6 months, and seeing how much he's brought to the table from an independent thinker, and bringing really what I think is the number one biggest issue in our sport to really grow the sport is the sports marketing experience that we lack as a professional sport. Seeing that happen and then getting all the way to Charleston, which there was a lot of buzz when we came out of Charleston, because a room full of people for the first time, that it wasn't about one person's decision, it was where we're going to go. It was a 3-day roundtable session of the best and brightest that we have right now in lacrosse, in my mind, with a lot of sports marketing branding folks wrapped around it to really get outside the box of lacrosse fans. As you know, Evan, I mean, we're a small fish, no matter how anyone wants to skin it in a pro sports
it's okay,
in lacrosse.
And it's okay to accept that.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
Well, I think you have to accept it if you want to grow your business.
But